when you came all dressed up and shit.
You know, I have to stunt. I can't be looking all rough.
I appreciate you. I figured that you were gonna look nice. Can I get that other card?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I figured you were gonna look nice.
Oh, thank you. Even after all these years, I'm trying. Because, you know, people from high school be looking rough. I'm like, not me.
Yeah, they do.
Hell
I
no.
always wondered what is it that makes people look like shit? And then I realized it's just the stress of kids, I think, and life shit in general. But the kid shit, it changes you.
I know, and I have 3.
Yeah, but you. Oh damn it!
I have 3.
Yes, I thought you only had 2.
No,
You seem to have managed though.
by myself. I know.
Yeah, and you sip a little bit too, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I enjoy my my free time.
Yeah.
Because they go with their dad.
Yeah.
Like every weekend. So I'm like, all right, it's my time. So.
Do you get lit or are you just chilling?
I have gotten lit.
Yeah.
But I try not to. I don't like getting wasted in my 40s.
Yeah.
You know, it's not cute.
Yeah.
When you're stumbling. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But I've gone on girls' trips and I don't post that though.
Yeah.
So.
You get banged up?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like alcohol ages people, but it doesn't seem to have took effect on you.
I try to only drink like once a week though.
Yeah.
That's like there's no alcohol in my house unless like people are coming over. I don't even have wine.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want my kids to see me fucked up.
Yeah.
So, and I've never done drugs. Still, never done drugs.
Good
I
for
think
you.
drugs ages people.
Yeah. Not even smoke weed?
I don't think weed's a drug.
Oh. Okay.
You think weed's a drug?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, but why?
Anything that alters your natural state is technically a drug. I mean, like, technically. It's not like,
Technically,
a bad drug, but, like, caffeine's a drug. It's all a drug.
Everything's a drug. Sugar's a drug.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Anything.
I think too much of anything is
Sex
what
is a
people
drug.
do. I know.
Yeah.
Sex is a drug.
You know what I mean?
Sex is definitely a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad it's not good half the time. But yeah, sex is a drug.
That's terrible.
It is. For women.
Yeah.
We don't have the luxury like you guys do.
Of what?
Of sex being always enjoyable.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
I know. You guys, no matter what, you guys always finish. We don't. Well, I will say I've definitely had a person or two that's always been good, but that's rare.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, a person or two?
Yes. In my whole life.
Damn, I hear that a lot. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a mental thing. I think the more you're in love, the easier it is for like a woman to finish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like casual sex and stuff like that, half the time it's, I mean, not that I have casual sex. I don't have casual sex. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God. But I've been in love before, and I will say out of like the 3 people I've been in love with,
It's better.
it's always better.
Yeah.
But there's really only been one person I've been in love with that was always like on point.
And you think it's because you're in love with him or he just has skills?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out because that's what gets us hooked as women because we release oxytocin when we, are intimate with someone. So I feel like, I don't know what the hell it is. I'd like to do a study on that.
Yeah, you should. You just got to keep getting out there and, shooting them shots.
Yeah. Or the worst is when women say, it's like, oh, yeah, because us girls talk more about sex than men. So just let you know. We always talk about it.
Really?
And half the time my friends are like, I don't know. I think I did. I'm like, no, you would know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't think anything. You know.
Yeah.
So obviously.
Yeah, it's not happening.
No, that doesn't mean it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't.
See, that's interesting because I always thought, especially as a man, like, if you're not reaching the end, what's the point? Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're just getting hot and sweaty. Like, I don't know. It just seems like why?
It's different for you guys. Though. For us, it's like just being intimate releases that hormone. So the feel good, it still feels good. It's just like, oh, okay, well, that was fun.
That's interesting.
I know. We don't get
no.
What's that thing?
I'm
Blue
not
balls.
going
We
through
don't.
all that. Yeah.
We're just like, okay, that was good. That was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then just walk away and.
Or finish ourselves. That's so bad.
That's hilarious.
Finish ourselves, yeah.
All right, let's switch gears here.
All right.
I think this is episode 30. I fuck this up every single time. There's so much shit to remember. I just can't remember it all.
Just say another episode of life.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I'm figuring it out. I
yeah.
don't know why. Yeah, I probably shouldn't keep track of the episodes, but I'm gonna do it today.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Welcome back to the Awakened Avoidant. This is episode 33. Today we bring you another deposit on the journey towards generational health. We have Miss Tasha Jimenez here today. You like
Oh,
that? You
yes,
like
yes,
that?
yes.
So today we have the honor of hearing from Tasha. She has basically faced one of life's most profound losses. Something that I really try not to think about. Just the thought of it, can take me there. So I want
Yeah.
to thank you for coming out and just sharing your story with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So how
Thank you
you
for
been?
having me. Good.
Oh yeah, and today I feel like it's a celebration, right? Because we had talked about like linking up and doing this for a minute, reaching out back and forth, and then it just so happened that I reached out to you on the weekend of your mom's birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
So today it's like what do they call it? A belated birthday celebration?
Yes. Listen, if my mom was alive, it's all cancer season. That's how she did it. So it's still,
What's cancer season? You mean like the sign?
yeah,
Oh,
like,
okay.
so she celebrated all of July. I'm like,
Okay.
your birthday's over. But she'd be like, no, it's still cancer season. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So
Nice.
technically, we're still celebrating.
Oh, good for you. Yeah. Good for us. I don't know anything about the signs, all the astrology, all that. Are
No?
you into it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
That's
I'm
a
in,
women thing, right?
no,
Yeah.
no. I
Yeah,
feel
probably
like
some men too.
there's some men who are into it. I think if you are in tune with like the universe, you kind of understand why there's zodiac signs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're trying to say like I'm not in tune with the
No.
universe? I
Do you?
feel
What's
like
your
I am.
sign?
Aquarius.
Oh shit! I should have known.
Yeah, but
No,
you
I'm
know
just
what?
kidding.
The Aquarius part, I feel like when people tell me about Aquarius and my personality, it does line up.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of shit that lines up. It's interesting.
It's just. I mean, you're not gonna find like every single thing but there's characteristics in there that make sense. You're like, oh, okay. But it also has a lot to do with your sun, moon, rising. It's not just your birth
Yeah.
zodiac.
I need you on here with my other co-host. You guys can,
Oh,
really
what, she's
exchange.
like into it.
Oh yeah, she's immersed. She's deep into it.
Oh dear, I'm not that bad, but I mean that's not bad.
Yeah.
But I think it definitely helps show, like, if you look at your astrological chart, like where you are in life. It's funny because we're speaking about my mom, and if you look back at my chart when she died, it shows in my chart that that's the time I'm going through loss and trauma.
Really?
And yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's why people get their charts done.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a little bit about it. Like I said, I feel like some of it lines up, but I don't know. I'm one of those people, maybe because I'm a man, logic, rationale. It's like, if I can't touch it, weigh it, or measure it, for me, it's just,
Yeah,
it's not
it's
real.
all. I understand. That's how I feel about religion.
Yeah.
It's like I get why you have faith. I get why I get why people have faith, but it's something you can't see.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, astrological signs, I feel like you could see a lot of traits. Like my mom was a Cancer through and through. Like the up and down moods. Like she wasn't like bipolar or anything, but
Right.
like she definitely was moody. And I feel like that has a lot to do with water signs.
Yeah. It's interesting how the different things that we believe in, because how you just described it as something you can't see, but we all believe in love.
Yeah.
And you can't see that.
I sure can't.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't believe in love? Or, oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it, but I don't know if I mean, I believe in lust.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Not love? Mm-mm. Huh.
The only love I believe in is with your kids, because I feel like you have this like bond, your DNA is attached.
Yeah.
But like outside people, no. I feel like people fall in and out of love all the time, and it's like, is that love or is that lust?
Mm.
Because I've been through so many relationships, not so many, I sound like a
That's all
mess.
good.
But it's like you think at that time you'll love that person forever. It's like, no, I'm like indifferent.
Mm.
You know?
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess you can technically. It's work. I think you gotta be committed to the idea of it, to really love someone forever.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like you have to remember people change, and when there's hurt involved, it's not saying you've never loved that person, but once you're out of that situation, you look back and you just don't feel, I feel like maybe you care about their well-being, but you don't love them. I feel like love is an action.
Yeah. I feel like that's when it's tested the most. Like when you're going through shit. It's like, do you actually love this person? Now it's time to show and prove.
Yep. And a lot of people don't, I don't think a lot of people know how to show love.
Yeah, I think it's because we're all, in a way, kind of just using each other.
That, and it's like we're all innately selfish.
Yeah.
Like we're all about our self-interest. So even though we don't want to hurt the people we care about, or it's not like we don't take their feelings into consideration. But at the end of the day, our feelings are always going to be above theirs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. For
Probably
sure.
why I'm single. So there's that.
Yeah.
You know? Which
Yeah.
I'm completely content in that. But I'm only content in that because I love myself too much.
Yeah. You've always been like that. You always been real. I
Yeah.
don't mean like to love yourself too much, but yeah, but not in a conceited way though. You've always just been like real positive. You always had this belief in yourself. You know, you're always this person like if I walk in the room, I know I'm the shit in the nicest way possible.
Right.
Not like, you know, taking up all the air in the room, but like you just know, your place in the world. And you've always been positive. So it's surprising to me that you are single because you would think people will be wanting to snatch up and be around that energy.
Well, people do try to snatch up my energy. That's
Yeah.
why dating, I'm at the end of my rope because, yeah, they're like, oh, Tasha's nice, you know, and they take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because I try to see past, you know, I try to see deeper in people, so I feel like they take advantage of that. And then, but this always happens, is I walk away and I'm like, you know what, you're not gonna take advantage of me, and then they always come back, and I don't understand that. Always, I'm talking about from probably middle school, people I've dated in high school, like they always try to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because, you know, I think I always do everything with intention, and it's like they realize that. So now I'm just trying to keep my energy for myself.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, it's just hard to realize in the moment what it is, you know, to be like truly present.
Oh, yeah.
And then when the moment passes and the opportunity is no longer there, then you really start evaluating what it meant to you. Then you're like, damn, I wish I can go back to that.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you can't go back. You know, it's a wrap.
I think that's like psychology 101. It's like once something's gone, you're like, that feeling of not having it, it's like, now I want it.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't, what's that saying? Give me my flowers while I'm here.
Yeah.
It's like you don't realize it while that person's there, and now you fumbled.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then we're going on our healing journey. It's like a lot of my girlfriends now in our 40s, we're all single. Not all of us. There's a couple of us. But that's why. Because it's like, okay, women, I guess, we love with emotion and all that, whatever. So once you break that and then we heal, once we heal, you're out of luck. Like we don't even look at you the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Believe me, I know how it goes. Like, you know, you could be all invested in you and then that one thing, never speak to you again. Somehow.
Never.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be nice. Like I'm friends with everybody I've dated.
Yeah.
Like we still talk. You know, my high school boyfriend, remember Chris? He was
Oh,
my whole
yeah.
Like that's still my buddy. Like
Oh,
we
yeah?
still talk.
Yeah.
But
That's what's up.
I try not to go backwards.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
What we were just talking about there, that's why I try to be real present in my son's life, because I'm not going to be one of those people that, you want to move that? I'm not going to be one of those people that, you know, if for worst case scenario, you know?
Yeah.
And then being like, man, I wish I did this or that. So like say he's throwing some shit around or wilding out. Instead of being mad about it, I really just don't care about it, because I don't want to be like, if something happens, damn, I would give anything to have this moment back, you know? I'd rather just be in it now and enjoy it and absorb it and take it and just be present. It's not really a big deal, you know?
That's what I was just about to say. Be present.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't, there's always what ifs. There's always, you don't know. So why dwell on that?
Yeah.
You know, I feel the same way. Even though I do yell at my kids a lot. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah?
They're just,
You got 3 of them, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I know.
3, and you said, oh, I don't mean like a lot. I meant like the work is a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
because I have just one, and I can't imagine doing it by myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I need a break, you know?
You definitely need a break. As a parent, I don't care if you're single or not, you need a break.
Yeah.
I feel like it helps us come back and be better parents.
Yeah. Were you able to get breaks? Like, how do you get a break when you're, because you basically did it by your own, right?
Yeah.
When they were young, too.
That was, I'm not going to lie, like that, ooh, PTSD over here.
Yeah.
But especially like when I lost my mom, because I always had my mom, like, what do I do? Can you help me? But once I lost her, it was like, oh, the kids are sick, I had to miss work. And the anxiety of calling into work and being like, I can't, because who's going to watch my kids? I think that was like the hardest.
Yeah.
You know, or like my youngest son has ADHD, which I think most kids do, and he's getting better, but when he gets triggered, he has these outbursts. So those times were really hard because it was like, I don't have another parent to lean on to be like, calm him down, like, or give me a minute, because
Yeah.
I'm overstimulated because I'm trying to calm him down and he's blowing up, and I'm like, where do I walk away?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you just got to stay in it. Yeah,
That's
that's
been
a
the
lot.
hardest.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine. I couldn't literally, like, you know, when you're with someone, it's kind of like, it's like you're like a tag team wrestling match here. It's like, you're tag you in, you got to get out, I get in, you know, and vice versa.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, being a single mom is not for the faint of heart. I'll say that.
Yeah, props to you for making it through and, you know, still looking good and still got your wits about you. And
Thank
shit,
you. My wits
you know?
about me. I hope I do when I'm like 60. I want to be a little firecracker.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, because I'm a mom, but I'm Tasha first. So even though that's my most important role, I still try not to lose myself in the fact that I'm a mom. So like when they got older and I was out of my relationship, I was like, okay, I'm going to do the girls' trips. I'm going to make that time for me. They go with their dad on weekends. That's when I turn up. You know what I mean? Like I'll go to brunch or, you know.
The turn up is brunch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Brunch is, when you're in your 40s, brunch is where it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then I could take a midday nap.
Yeah.
And then I'm refreshed.
That's interesting. I'm trying to find how to disconnect myself because I don't know, I'm just one of those people that feels like I need to be in it all the time. And I know that's not true, but I don't know. I'm trying to find a balance, I guess. You know, get out there and do stuff because I don't really like doing other stuff, honestly. So.
You're more introverted, you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could stay in my house till the end of time.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I actually wish I had that about me.
It makes life easier.
I mean, that means that you're comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like sporadic moments by myself, but for the most part, I love being around people.
Really?
I don't know why.
Good for you.
I know that's bad though.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. I mean,
my friends joke all the time. They're like, "Oh, if I say like I'm bored," my one friend, she's like, "Tasha, you know someone's gonna invite you somewhere. You're gonna go somewhere." I'm like, "That's not true." And she's like, "Just sit at home." And it's like when I don't have my kids, I don't want to sit at home.
yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm free right now, so like I gotta.
Yeah. See, that's the time when you need to hit that reset button. You know, I don't know, take a long bath or stretch or do whatever you got to do.
No, because you know what it is? I hate sitting in place.
Really?
So like I could watch a movie, but sitting on my couch or in my bed all day, there's only so much you can clean. So it's like if I'm home all night, like that was me last weekend because it's my mom's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in my feelings and I knew I was like, I don't want to be around people. I kind of want to like my solitude because I don't like to mess up other people's moods on top of it. So I tried, like I cleaned and then I sat there and I watched a couple, shows and I was like, oh my God, this is killing me. It's like 9:00 at night and I'm still in the house. I'm like, should I go anywhere? But I ended up staying in the whole time. But it was hard. I was bored.
Yeah.
I was bored.
Do you do anything to like honor her or celebrate her memory? Like any ceremonial thing, or you just kind of chill?
I usually have a glass of Pinot for her because that was her wine. But that's it, really. I don't talk to my brother or my dad. We're estranged. So it's not like we get together and do anything. Usually I'm just by myself and kind of digest it all.
Yeah.
But dates are hard. Dates are hard. Like you don't every year.
Dates?
Like her death date.
Okay.
Her birthday.
Yeah.
And it's like I try to mentally prepare myself. I'm like I feel the loss every day. But those days for some reason they hit like they hit pretty hard.
Yeah, you find out as you get older. You know how they say that time heals all? Mm-hmm. It's not really true. Like it may, I'm certain you know better than I, that it gets easier to deal with, but the shit never heals. Like, it never goes away. I lost my cousin so many years ago, and I still, some days it can hit you like it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's grieving. There's no timeline on it. And because it's been, 11 years since I lost her. But I feel like, not to say that kids who lose their moms, it's not hard, because I know it is. But it seems so much more recent in my mind because I was an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like I was grown. I had her my whole life, and then the flash of an eye, it's like, oh, now I don't. So, and then all my friends, they thank God they still have their parents and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, like I'm only 41. I don't think I shouldn't have my parents. You know? So that's, yeah, I would say that's like the hardest pill to swallow when it comes to that. And then as I get older, I look like her, which is crazy because everyone used to say I look like my dad. And then after she died, now I see it. Like I'll look at her pictures like, damn, I really look like her now. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing your mom. I'm sure I probably seen her like a couple times, but I don't have a strong memory of her. I do
Yeah.
remember seeing your dad a little bit, like around. But yeah, no, I don't remember that. Can you share how you lost your mom?
Lung cancer.
Okay.
She died of lung cancer. So
How did how did you find out? Like, where were you? She told you about it, obviously.
well, funny thing, she got diagnosed in 2009, but she didn't tell us.
Really?
Which I think it happens a lot when with parents, like they don't want to stress out their kids. And so we didn't know that till after she died, that she had it. Yeah. But she didn't do anything about it in 2009. And then I want to say like 2010 maybe, she went to just get like her regular screenings, whatever. And that's when she told us that she had a couple nodules in her lungs. And I was adamant about being like, don't touch it. That's just my opinion. Anytime you have cancer, the second it's exposed to air, I just feel like it multiplies. But, you know, healthcare. So her doctors are like, no, let's operate, let's remove the nodule. And after that, it just went downhill for her. Yeah, she had radiation, that didn't work. It was very weird though, because I remember dates. That's just my specialty. But we were shopping. It was right near Christmas, and it was December 17th. I remember we were at Kohl's. We were shopping. She was fine. She had one more chemo treatment left. And then December 20th is when I woke up, and well, it was December 19th technically. I woke up and she was standing in the hallway naked, which was not my mom. Like, I know you don't remember her, but she was very modest, very like, you know, put together. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And my dad's just standing behind her and he's trying to help her to the bathroom and he's crying. And I'm like, what just happened? And she looked so spaced out. Like it was just so traumatic. I won't cry, I promise.
You should.
Yeah. And then she was in the bathroom the whole morning. And I remember like going to my dad. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. Like, she woke up in the middle of the night and she just seemed like she lost her mind out of nowhere. So anyway, so after her being in the bathroom all day, I was like, Dad, no, we have to take her to the hospital. Like, she's not leaving the bathroom. Like, something's wrong. And what was also weird is it looked like she lost all her weight overnight. I'm not kidding. Like, she looked like emaciated. So I was working for Drexel at the time. And our affiliated hospital was Hahnemann. So because I was friends with the doctors, I was like, I want my mom to go there because I know they're going to look out for her. You know, I'm texting the doctors. I'm like, I'm on my way with my mom. Like, please, please, please. And we get to the ER. Couldn't even really get her out the car. It was awful. And they all rushed her in. And I'm standing in the hallway of the ER. And I just remember feeling the presence behind me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn around and it's all my doctors that I work with. And they all look like they were about to cry. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And the one doctor, the attending, came up to me and he's like, Tasha, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but what? They're like, your mom had a stroke. They don't know if it was like the chemo that did it, but they're like, it's not looking good right now. We're going to try to do everything, blah, blah, blah. And they're all hugging me. And I was just like, I just remember my body. It seems like a dream, honestly. Like, I just remember my body being in shock, you know? And after that, it was just, she had pneumonia, then she had septic shock. And then they brought me and my dad in the room and said, you know, she has maybe 2 weeks. And then she passed January 10th. In my arms, by the way, which was awful.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So it was just basically sudden. Like, you weren't expecting it to happen at this pace, or you weren't expecting it to happen at all. I'm assuming.
No, like her prognosis was pretty decent, even though she had lung cancer, and it was just like, what the hell happened? But when you're getting chemo, your immune system is shot. You can't fight off anything.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I did blame myself because I'm like, well, I have kids, and I know they're in daycare, and they probably brought something back to her, and Like, my mom was always with the grandkids in her bed. So I'm like, oh my God. Because even though she had cancer, she technically died of pneumonia.
Oh, okay.
Because she just couldn't, her lungs just couldn't fight off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Extremely traumatic. I don't know what, I didn't know that story at all. I don't know what I thought about it, but I didn't know that you were, carrying that.
Yeah. It's
So
been a long time.
the grieving process, like everyone grieves differently, and we talked about it's still going on for me. How did you begin that process? Like, what did that look like for you, or what does that look like for you?
Celebrating my mom, like in every respect. Like my whole body's tattooed with stuff about my mom. My whole house. Like I think I overdo it a little bit. Like I have my mom's picture blown up in my,
Yeah, no way.
just keeping her memory alive is like the only thing I can do because I don't have videos. I mean, she passed in 2013. So even though we had cameras and stuff like that, we didn't really have like videos and voice recordings of her. And I think that's the hardest. But yeah, I keep the photos of her and I talk about her constantly. Like my kids, they know everything about my mom. Like I will not let them forget. And my little guy, he never met her. So in his mind, he feels like he knows her. He's like, yeah, Gigi, da da da. I'm like, oh, like she never got to meet him. So that's how I deal with grief. It's just a day by day thing.
Yeah.
Like one day I'm fine. One day I'm like, oh my God. Those moments when things aren't going good and it's like, I wish I could call her and be like, oh my God, what do I do? So I just use my friends for that. Really,
Yeah.
they have to deal with me, and all my issues. I always have stories. So they have to deal with hearing all my stuff.
What were the qualities that you most admired about your mom?
Well, I don't know if you remember her, but she was like an educator. I love that. She was very like open about everything. So like when we were in high school, when me and my brother would have our friends over, she would like show them how to put a condom on the. Because she's like, oh
Good
my
for
God.
her. She's educating.
She's like, I don't want anyone to get AIDS. And like, she was just very transparent about a lot. Even though she seemed very like, she was very introverted. She's very modest about stuff. She was still very open about talking about uncomfortable shit.
Yeah.
Do you remember Sharon Little?
I remember the name.
When my mom died, she put something on. She sang a song for my mom because my mom loved her voice, and she put a thing on Instagram that made me laugh because she's like, I remember when your mom was trying to teach me about white supremacy. I was like, oh Lord. And she said, your mom brought out a pack of Band-Aids and was like, see, it's only one color. And she's like, we live in a white society. She's like, they don't make products for people of color. They don't, every sign that is like this, the sign of beauty and stuff is the white standard.
Yeah.
And she's like, that always stuck with me. And I was like, dang, like my mom taught you that? She's like, yes. And now every time I look at Band-Aids, I think of your mom. She's like, your mom would be so happy that now they have different color Band-Aids.
Yeah, I think that's only just recent that they started coming out
right.
with that. Like, who would have thought that this many years later they just came out with some brown skin Band-Aids?
Yeah, it's crazy. Or different skin tone crayons. Like it's everything in society is very catered to whiteness.
Yeah.
And my mom was very passionate about it. Like she taught us this at a young age. Like especially, me and my brother, we grew up, no one knew what we were. Like everyone's like, well, what are they? My mom had a British accent. My dad, I don't know if you remember what my dad looked like, but he looked a hot man.
Yeah, mix.
Yeah.
Mix.
So
I couldn't pinpoint it either.
I didn't even know I was Puerto Rican until I was in like middle school. I was like, I'm Puerto Rican?
Yeah. That's when it went from Jimenez to Jimenez.
Jimenez, right? Well, because people would, and it was crazy because I think the reason I said my last name then, because my mom and my dad used to always say to my mom, why are you saying her last name wrong? My mom's like, well, I'm not Hispanic. Why would I pronounce the J like that? My dad's like, because that's how you say her name.
Yeah.
So, because she had a British accent, it was, I guess, I don't know if it was hard for her to say, I don't know. But
I didn't know that she had a British accent. So she was born there originally?
Yeah. You never knew that?
No.
Yeah, she's from Liverpool.
Really? Mm-hmm. Have you ever been?
Mm-hmm. Well, not to Liverpool, but I've been to England a couple times.
Do you still have any relations over there?
her whole family's there. No one's here. So, yeah. So I'm trying to actually go there next year with my kids so I can spread her ashes.
Oh, you still have them?
Well, my dad has them. He lost her.
He lost the ashes?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So I'm waiting for my dad to find my mom, and then I'm going to go. So
Okay.
I'm like, why would... I know she's looking at my dad like, you dumbass. Like...
Yeah, that's a lot. We still have my wife's father's ashes. And we just light a candle every year, Father's Day, that kind of stuff.
Aw. When did he pass?
A couple of years ago. I'm terrible with dates. I can't.
But it wasn't that long ago. Like, she lost it recently.
Yeah.
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 She's still going through it?
I think so. I think it's hard. You know, everyone deals with things differently, and some people are a little bit more introverted and say a little bit less about it, but you can tell it, you know, it impacts.
It's still.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfathomable. I couldn't imagine it, you know, because I only had my mom, so to lose her would be like, what am I doing here?
And I loved your mom. I remember her doing my hair.
Really?
Yeah. Sherry,
Yeah.
that's my mom. Your mom probably remembers my mom more than anything because my mom used to always take me to her salon in the mall.
Interesting. I don't know none of this shit.
No?
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
Ask your mom. She used to relax my hair for me. My hair was always relaxed. I don't know why I always wanted it straight when I was younger, but your mom always did my hair. I still remember the smell of the shampoo she used. I swear to God I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Good story.
Yeah.
Let's
That's so funny.
go back real quick. Do you mind sharing? What are you?
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. So my dad's Puerto Rican, and my mom is black and white.
Oh, okay.
But after my DNA, I'm like, damn. Like, my DNA brought out a lot. So if you want to break it down into, like, percentages, I think I'm... And I guess this has to do with being Puerto Rican, because Puerto Ricans are mixed, right? So it's not like Puerto Rican isn't like a... It's
Like
a
one
nationality,
thing.
but
Yeah.
it's not... It's a multitude of races. So when I did my DNA, it came back, I was like 30% Spaniard, so I'm a colonizer.
Okay.
I'm like 30% African.
Colonizer.
I know, right? And then the rest
Congratulations.
is indigenous.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like,
I guess
wait.
that's why it's hard to tell.
right, I'm very racially ambiguous. But
Yeah.
here's the funny part. So there's a part of my little DNA chart that says unassigned. Like, they couldn't even figure out what I was. They were like, fuck it. And they put
Yeah.
2% in like this box that they don't know what it is.
Yeah. Those tests, the DNA tests, are interesting to me because what if it's bullshit?
So
Like, how do we know?
here's how I knew. Because even though it showed like my European side, because sadly I'm like 50% European.
Really?
But that includes the Spaniard side, and it includes Malta, which I never knew. Malta, I think it's called Malta, which is off the coast of
It's like an
Africa.
island? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like off the coast of Europe. So they put it in the European category. But anyway, they pinpointed exactly where my grandparents came from. So it doesn't just say the part of the world, it says like the towns, like the cities.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
So
it
you could trace that if you. Okay. Okay. I
So it
didn't know
showed
that.
my mom was from Liverpool. Like, it says, likely ancestry in, and it broke down the towns.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I knew. I was like, oh, that's like wildly accurate.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I didn't know that it was that definitive with the answers. I just thought it was kind of like
Broad.
vague. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I've never done it, but I've always wanted to do it.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't think I'll ever kill anyone. So if they have my DNA, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But they probably have my DNA from birth. Who knows? You know?
You think so?
I don't know. I don't trust anything the government does. Who knows what they have?
Yeah, shit is a little weird. Speaking of the government, we're coming in here the day after an assassination attempt on Trump.
Oh, was that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you don't think so?
Sorrows. No.
Really?
No. The Secret Service is on point. Listen, how do you have a photo op after getting shot in the air to where, first of all, really offensive, you put up the fit. Listen, no, I don't believe it was an assassination attempt at all.
You think it was staged?
100%.
Yeah.
If you look at presidents in general, if you look at, first of all, everybody hated Obama because majority of America is white. We all know why they hated him. If there was never an assassination attempt on Obama, and he had the most hate, in my opinion. But Secret Service, days and days before a rally, they check everything. They check everyone. They don't allow the rally. They wouldn't allow the rally to happen at like open rooftops and stuff like that. And there's been interviews of people, you know, not on mainstream media, but just like them just telling their story on like TikTok about their experience at the rally. And they've all said the same thing. They're like, yeah, we all were like, we saw this guy pointing a gun. So we're like screaming like to the cops and the Secret Service, like, do you see that guy up there? Whatever. Secret Service would have been on that. It just, A plus B does not equal C. I'm just sad they didn't go through with it. But
Interesting.
I just said that a lot, like
Yeah,
out loud.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, he's trash.
I don't agree with her. I just want to say that before they flag the shit and come after.
Oh shoot! No, no, no.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry,
agree.
guys.
May even have to edit, but
Yeah,
you know, this
that's
is your
all right.
personal
Yeah.
feelings. I get it, and you're
Yeah,
jokingly serious.
jokingly.
But yeah, stage, huh? That's interesting. I know there's a lot of people that say that. I definitely don't think it was staged, but it is interesting. I was wondering too. I saw that the person was set up about 130 yards away on a rooftop. That is fairly close, and considering he was that close, Trump's very lucky to be alive. If in fact the bullet actually did nick his ear, to me it looks real.
Of course,
It definitely looks
it's
real.
supposed to look
Yeah.
real. I mean, I try to keep an open mind with stuff like this, right? So when I look at the events surrounding it, I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm just like,
But what about the dead people?
what dead people? The guy that they killed?
Yeah.
Again, I think it was,
Oh, you
all
think it's
planned.
like a whole
yes.
big?
I think dang near everything in our system is planned. So that being planned is not far-fetched. And let me just preface this by saying I can't stand this girl, but Candace Owens even came out and was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, she's like, I've been with Trump before, you know, and I've been at NRA rallies and stuff like that. Like, when I tell you the Secret Service is on top of their game,
Yeah.
you can't tell me that they didn't see this guy. If people in the crowds saw this guy, you're telling me Secret Service didn't?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. It just all sounds fabricated, in my opinion.
I like that. I'm so glad I asked you about that. I thought people that said it was staged were batshit crazy, but
No, you have to look at all the things surrounding it. I mean, I would say this is a very, 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 very slight possibility, but I highly, highly doubt that. There's no way. They won't even, ever since JFK, they check for open windows. Like, if you look at the things that Secret Service does for, you know, the president or presidential candidate, whatever, before they even come out into the public, it's rigorous. They don't just go, okay, stand on stage, we'll just watch out. Like, they really, it just doesn't make sense.
wait. So I gotta ask you more questions now.
Go ahead.
So you think the whole thing was staged, and the person that did the shooting was like part of some plot, and he took
I
the
definitely
L for?
I mean, we
reason?
don't know the reasons behind it, but like 100%. I think that because people sacrifice for dumber things. And we all know like Trump has a cult following.
I got you. So you think that possibly this was to boost him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, because he's probably definitely going to become president now.
I hope not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He just beat a maybe alleged assassination attempt.
Well,
He's definitely going to be.
unless it comes
He's
out.
the king now.
Oh my God, no. Well, if you look at things that are streaming on media right now, people are really starting to pick it apart. And, you know, like I said, the Secret Service plays a big part in this. Like, people want to know, like, how could this really actually happen?
Yeah.
You know, so I think right now it could swing either way, in my opinion. Like, there's some people who are looking at it like, aw, and then there's other people who are like, come on, like, let's look at the big picture. Even if that did happen, like, let's say, you know, I had an unbiased opinion when it comes to Trump, right? Which I don't, but let's say I did. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, that stinks that someone tried to kill him, but that doesn't mean you're a good presidential candidate. Like, that doesn't mean.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. I think it's just about the popularity thing, and that, you know, his supporters now will look at him like he's indestructible, and some people will probably feel bad for him, you know, that someone tried to kill him. So I assume that he'll get more support for that.
I mean,
Just my assumption.
Yeah.
And to survive an assassination attempt, which appeared to be very close, if in fact it was true, some gangster shit.
yeah, and then do a photo op after. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
But that's what
anything
you
like
would
that.
do. Like, you know, he's.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The Secret Service, the first thing that they would do, especially seeing if he's bleeding,
Yeah.
get him in the car, ambulance. Like, they don't keep him out there to have a chance to, like, say something to the crowd. Like, he just got shot at.
Yeah.
So the first order of business is get him out of harm's way, not linger.
Yeah, maybe. But
That's
the guy knows how to
weird.
take advantage of media. So in my mind, I'm thinking he would know, like right now is the moment to take advantage of this. That fist in the air shit is going to be legendary for him. And again, I'm impartial to it. I don't go one way or the other, but I recognize the moment for him is immense. Like there's going to be nothing bigger. The fact that he survived that, like nothing bigger ever. Mm-hmm. Maybe even the JFK thing won't be as big as this because he can't tell his story.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
That's
true. That part's true. But, his supporters think JFK is alive, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
but
confusing. Mm-hmm. Let's go back, though. Okay. Back to your mom.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I deviated so hard. I don't even know what was my point to ask. Well, I guess just because it's a big deal and it just happened yesterday, so.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It literally just happened. I don't, listen, I'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
This is how I do my conversations. I always segue into other stuff. Bring it back.
I really wanted to make this more of like, a celebration about your mom, but we could deviate for a minute. So did I ask you what was some of her favorite hobbies? Like what did your mom like to do? What did you see her doing most? Like what was she into outside of educating?
I don't know, really. Like she was into activism hard.
Yeah.
I feel.
So your brother got the bug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hard. He got it really hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She loved painting. She was, a painter. Like I said, I mean, that was her biggest passion was activism and educating, which is funny how you mentioned my brother because he's literally my mom.
Yeah.
Like, but times 10. He's on X Games mode.
Yeah, for sure. He's going hard.
Yeah, he's
good for him though.
Yeah, I mean, he's now the head of the history department for the school district. So.
Yeah, I see he's like furthering his education and,
just
doing what he's done. Not only that, but he's been committed to that ever since like I've known him. So I don't even know, like he's been as committed to that as I've been to the gym.
Yeah.
Like I don't know many people that have been doing anything as long as I've been working out, like 25 years. So that's a long time to be committed to something that takes that much from you.
Oh yeah. I will say I admire that because I feel like a lot of us are lost in life and it takes us a while to figure out like what our passions are and stuff. That boy knew from like birth.
Yeah, he was gonna fight the power. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he just that's his strong point, I guess. He always knew. And I feel like that's why I have multiple degrees because I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. Oh, I want to do this. Like, I wish I had like a definitive answer of what I want to do.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I never really had that because doing any one thing outside of working out and like taking care of myself to me just sound kind of boring.
You don't have any other passions?
Yeah, I do, but I don't have any one, any one thing forever, like a career. Some people want to have a career or something like.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to do it till I die.
Right. Exactly.
Personally, so I kind of like just having the ability to just move around and do whatever I want to do. Start a podcast if I want to start, just not feel stuck in any one lane.
I feel you on that. That's kind of probably how I guess I've worked out my life because I like trying a bunch of different things and experiences, I should say, and learning different things.
Yeah, how was your podcast? What was it about?
We don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Well, we still technically have it. We'll probably,
What's the name of it?
Two things.
Two things?
Two things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, two things. Like
two things.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would have two topics that we would talk about, and we would bring guests on, and just whatever the topic is for that day, we would discuss.
It was you and a man, right? Another man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was originally his podcast, and then the one day he had me on as a guest, and it really blew up. And then he's like, "Can you just be my co-host?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, why not?" And for a while we did it. Yeah. It was good. It was fun.
It's a lot, right?
It is a lot. Especially being on camera. Wait, because then I would go back and look, and my chin's really. I'm like, oh my
really?
God, what the?
That's
or like the lighting
thing.
was off. Yeah,
that's
I
a woman
it.
thing. Sometimes I sit down with women, I see they're like checking, fixing, blah blah blah. I just sit down and just make sure I don't got any boogers hanging out and I'm straight. Like I don't even really.
Yeah, because you're a man.
Really care.
Especially
I
when
care,
you're older,
but not that much.
You're like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're good. Only thing, sometimes I slouch in a chair. I don't love that, but.
I know. I try not to. You have to remind yourself of your posture.
Yeah, and I I feel like I mumble a lot too sometimes. Like you gotta project your voice a little bit, and I don't do that. I'm just like a low talker.
Yeah.
So I gotta try to talk a little bit louder.
I don't know. I always feel like I hear you when
Yeah?
you're talking. Yeah.
Maybe it's just me critiquing myself a little bit too hard.
Yeah. I think so.
So another question. Back to mom.
Mm-hmm.
How did she show up for you in your life? Like, you know how we talked about love as being invisible, and we know love through the actions of someone. How did your mom show to you that she loved you and cared about you? Like, what did she do that made you know this woman loves me?
I feel like she was just that. I don't want to use the word crutch, but she was just that person that knew she had all the answers. Like I think, I mean, because you have a little kid too. My kids look at me like I know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like I don't know
Yeah.
what, but that's how my mom was. It was like anytime there was an issue, anytime there was like a struggle, it's like she knew exactly what to do, and she was always. I never had to seek out my mom. Like she always was there. I was very lucky. I mean, she was always communicating with us. She made our feelings feel important and valid, and that was like huge for her. I feel like that kind of built like a best friend dynamic between us because I could go to her about anything, not feel judged, but she would help me come up with a plan to like resolve stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of being a mom, like just being, that was my person. So just, I don't know how else I would say she showed me she loved me. I mean, I will say I never had to go, like while she was here, I never had to go my life without having my mom.
Yeah.
Where, I even have friends who it's like they picked men over their moms picked men over their kids,
Yeah.
or like the kids were obviously not the mom's priority.
Yeah.
Where me and my brother were always her priority. It was like, she, her and my dad, even though they were married for 30 years, there were times where they were they were separated,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just my mom. And no matter what, we never had to be hungry, never were homeless.
Yeah.
And, she just always made stuff happen.
Yeah, it's like kind of like it's like you won the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Because like what are the chances, like you said, your friends where the mom picked a man over them, and it's just like you don't know. You just come into this world and you get what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom could be alcoholic, she could be this, she could be that, but you end up getting one of the greatest gifts that the world can give you. And that's just like, how do you feel about it? Have you ever thought about that? Do you just feel like lucky, gratitude? Like what?
I do. Like I said, I have a couple friends who they tell me stories about their moms, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine growing up with a mom like that. A mom who, because let's be honest, like we're humans. Like this parenting thing doesn't come with a book, and I know I've probably messed up a few times or whatever, but some mothers, it's just natural for their maternal instincts. And when I hear other stories about, oh yeah, and then my mom used to beat me, or my mom did this, and I'm like lucky as hell, because not my mom. I'm like, there's nothing I could say, especially my mom grew up with a lot of trauma. So there's nothing I can say that I didn't have to suffer. Like I didn't have to, like my friends' parents, like their moms suffered through depression and stuff like that. Not saying that that's their fault, but I'm just saying, mom sleeping in bed all day, and never, they had to take care of their siblings and stuff like that. Like growing up really hard, and my mom always made sure, we had a childhood, and like no matter how tired she was, she would make us dinner. Like we never had to worry about stuff like that. So yeah, very
She was
fortunate.
just always present.
Always.
Damn, I forget the question I want to ask you. Sometimes some people say things and I'm like holding on to something that I want to ask you.
I know, and then you forget.
It leaves me. Yeah, I wanted to ask you something about your mom being present, being there.
I try to be like her.
Yeah?
Yeah. I look at my kids, and like I said, I'm not like a perfectionist at parenting by all means. Like I'm very short-tempered. So like, or I get overstimulated fast, and it's like if the kids are fighting, I'm like, and sometimes I have to like reel myself back in. But one thing I have always tried to adopt from her is, okay, my kids will always be first. No one else can, come into play when it comes to that. Like that will always be my number one.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in love, married, I don't care. Like hands down. So I've also made sure, like, I don't know, my kids don't see like a rotation of men in my life, which is another huge thing. Like, I'm very particular. Like, I think my kids have met maybe 2 people I've dated ever.
That's good.
I will not let my kids see that, you know.
Yeah.
That's huge for me.
Yeah. I remember what I wanted to ask you. How old was your mom when she had you? Well, you don't even have to say her age if you don't feel comfortable with
I
that.
don't
But
care.
like, was she a young mother?
No, she was 30
Okay.
when she had me.
Yeah, I think that helps having kids older because for me personally, you know, you said there's no book.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I feel like I know everything, but I feel pretty well versed based on experience that I have enough information that I can give my son. Like, I'm not really asking anyone for questions about anything.
That's good. That means it comes naturally to you.
Yeah, I think that part, but I don't know how would it because I didn't really have any, like no one showed me, you know?
Well, that's the
I
crazy
guess
thing
that's it
about.
coming naturally to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no one has to show you. It's like your instinct tells you how to be a dad or what to do.
Yeah.
Which I feel like in a lot of ways I feel that way with my kids. It's like sometimes, especially now that I don't have my mom. Even when I had my mom, there's just some things that just you know. You know, like my mom didn't teach me to wake up in the middle of the night when the baby's crying. You know what I mean? But it was like natural for me to not let myself go into such a deep sleep. I can't hear my kids.
Yeah.
Now that they're older, I deep sleep bad. Like they have to come in my room and they're like, "Mom." But it's crazy how like when they were babies, it was like
Yeah.
I could hear them move.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know.
Yeah.
It all depends.
Yeah, it is interesting how that changes for you. I let my son sleep on my chest when he was a baby. I know they say you shouldn't do that, but I was so in tune with him that there's no way that that's going to go wrong. Like, I know for a fact. And, you know, I'm not drinking or anything. I'm tired, but, you know.
But, and also skin to skin really helps the baby bond. So even though you're not his mom, him bonding to you like that, you know, and your heart, I know it sounds crazy, but, you know, I'm into the universe, so whatever. But your hearts beating together like that is probably what also helped create the bond. That's why they say skin to skin contact is so important when a baby's born.
Yeah, the process, all that connection and connectivity. You know what? I think it's because don't they suggest that babies sleep on their back when they're born? They want you to put them on their back.
There's always
that
something.
Shit does not work.
No.
It was not working. I'm like, look, if we don't put this baby on his stomach, we're not sleeping. So forget the rules or whatever they say. We got to do what looks like it's working. And so that was the reason why I let him sleep on my chest. It's not like I necessarily wanted to, but you know, like we got to sleep. What are we gonna do?
I know. And if that's the only way to get them to sleep, I mean, look, I left my ex when my son was 3 months old. So it was like my first time with a newborn completely by myself. I didn't have my mom. I didn't have him. And then I still had my other 2 and a newborn. And I still had to get up for work in the morning.
Is this your middle child?
My youngest.
Oh, your youngest. Okay.
My 8-year-old. Well,
that's a big decision.
I know. I had to.
Yeah.
He was very abusive.
Oh, okay.
So I actually almost died with my third one. They had to, like, I had a stroke.
Really?
I got cardiomyopathy, so the left side of my heart stopped pumping blood.
Is that due to the stress that you were
of
under?
my pregnancy? Yeah, but
just the environment that you were in, I meant.
I think so. That's what they're saying because apparently it's very rare what I got.
Yeah.
Because I had a healthy pregnancy as far as like my numbers, like no blood pressure issue, nothing. I gained like 25 pounds, nothing crazy. Everything was like smooth sailing. I had him, and I just remember because I had a C-section, and I just remember laying there. I was like in and out of consciousness, and I just remember them saying she's losing a lot of blood, and I was like, am I dying? I just remember feeling that, and I was like, no, and I was like, something doesn't feel right about this delivery. So then I recovered from that, was in the hospital, normal stay like everybody else, you know, and before I left the hospital, I just kept feeling so weird. I was like, I feel off. And then nurses are like, that's just your hormones. I'm like, I know I've had babies before, like I know, but something feels like weird inside. I couldn't pinpoint it. And then I was home for 3 weeks, breastfeeding, everything was great. And then my older son found me at the foot of the bed. I passed out. I will say I did know what was leading up to this because I remember calling my doctor because every night I couldn't fall asleep. It felt like I was breathing through a straw and I didn't understand. I'm like, what the hell? And I was getting more swollen, like to the point you couldn't make out my kneecaps. I couldn't fit in my maternity clothes. I'm like, I haven't even eaten. What is happening? I'm just getting bigger and bigger. I kept calling my doctor. She's like, every pregnancy is different. You're just swelling. I'm like, no, this is like abnormal swelling, but okay. So it's kind of like, I probably should have been more proactive. But I was like, I'm sure the doctor's right. I'm fine. So I would fall asleep propped up on pillows. And the day I fainted was actually when my ex, that was the day he had to go back to work, and he worked in New York. So it was weird because he had just left the night before, and my older son found me on the floor, and I was like, I can't breathe. I don't know what the hell. And I remember calling his mom. His mom comes over, and I'm like sitting on the steps, and I'm like crying. I'm like, can you just take me to the hospital? I can't breathe. And she was like, Tasha, I know you're a little dramatic. It could be your anxiety. I was like, I can't breathe. Like I'm about to die. Like I just passed out.
Yeah.
I can't breathe. I can't even walk holding my baby without gasping. And she's like, okay, let me make breakfast for, like, she had me.
Damn.
I was about to fight this lady. And I was just like, those are the moments when you want your mom. Cause I'm like, oh, my mom would have been on that.
Yeah.
So I call him at work and I'm like, talk to your mom. Tell her she needs to take me to the ER, or like, I don't know what to do with the baby. Like I'm frantic. And I'm like, so finally she put a little pep in her step.
After she ate bacon and eggs.
Yeah. And like I said, this was like 3 weeks postpartum. And I went to the hospital, and at first they had me sitting in the waiting room, and I was like, I can't breathe. And thank God someone there knew what the hell I was talking about, because the nurse, he came out and he was like, did you just have a baby? I was like, yeah, he's 3 weeks old. And he's like, and you can't breathe. I was like I'm gasping. So he's the one who rushed me right back. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, you have post preeclampsia. So my whole pregnancy, my blood pressure was fine, but for some reason the hormones after having him skyrocketed, and my blood pressure was like, I want to say it was like 2 something over like 150. It was insane.
Damn.
And they were like, you're having a stroke. I'm like, huh? So I was in the cardiac ICU for 3 weeks without my baby. That was like super stressful, because that's another moment I wanted my mom, because I didn't trust them with the baby.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see him because he wasn't allowed. It was too dangerous for a newborn to be on the ICU floor.
Yeah.
In a hospital. So I'm like, it was just the worst. I left against medical advice, because after 3 weeks, I was like, I can't be in here. I need to be with my kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got my tubes tied, because they were like, if you have another baby, your heart won't be able to handle another baby. I'm like, awesome. Well, I didn't want any more kids anyway, but I was like, okay, because I was 33.
Good reason to stop.
Yeah, 100%. And then yeah, that's that. So yeah, I had a stroke. It's super fun.
It's a lot. This is interesting because, I mean, the world doesn't know. Me and you basically known each other forever. You're
whole life.
Like you're like the first female that I have a real memory of even coming to this area. But just knowing that, I don't really remember many others before you. Like, I'm sure I've been around some, but any that stand out.
Yeah.
And we lived in the same complex, so that's
Hatfield Village, right?
I don't remember any other girls that lived there. I'm sure there was plenty, because I'm sure you had girlfriends, but I don't remember any.
That's actually, thinking about it, yeah, you're like the first guy I really knew, like, that, my memory, that I remember from Hatfield Village days and
I don't
stuff
remember
like
anyone
that.
else.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and just the fact that, as a woman, when you're a child, obviously you don't realize you're going to go through all that shit, and as a young boy, I don't know what's going to happen, and we're all going to go through things, but I think women have the potential to go through a lot more shit due to the fact that, a lot more is happening to you. Like, I've been through some things, but nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that, because I don't really know a lot of men who have, maybe you guys don't speak about it as much as we do.
About what?
About things you've been through.
Yeah.
Like, you guys process emotions totally different. So
And
maybe
how
that's
so?
why. Well, like, even just raising boys, I see the difference. Like, my daughter will come to me with every and anything. My boys, it's like they suppress it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the same thing with, okay, if you want to correlate it to like dating and breaking up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, men don't, like, at the breakup, it's like that long running joke where it's like the girl is super upset at first because she's literally looking at the present and connecting with her feelings and like grieving the relationship and stuff like that. So for the first 3 weeks, month, 2 months, she's heartbroken, and the guy's out there and he's partying and he's like, girls, girls, girls. And then she gets to her healing phase, and then the man is finally starting to process, like, oh, damn. Because I don't know if that's because men respond to absence, but for women, I think not all of us, but for the most part, like we process when it happens because we're more
emotional.
Yeah. I mean, it's science. So.
Yeah, you probably just recognize them a lot earlier than we do. You know, I know me for myself. I would say I'm probably much more emotional now, maybe more in tune with emotions. Like I cry a lot now.
Good.
It's crazy. I think it's from all the years of suppressing emotions, you know, that it just built up so much in me. Like I could be watching a TV show and something go left now. Like, it's like
no, I love
it just happens
that,
all the time
though.
now. So I just let it go because I'm like, well, I must need it, you know,
Yeah.
because there's some, you know, science behind it, making you feel good, releasing chemicals, etc. So it's good for you. So why suppress it? But as a man, when you're younger, I don't know why we do it. You
I
just
don't
don't
know
feel
either.
comfortable talking about it, you know, or you don't realize that communicating how you feel is going to help you, so you just don't do it.
Right, right.
Know?
Or you find other outlets to kind of deal
Yeah,
with those
yeah, or
emotions.
to mask it, like you said, a guy could be out running around doing his thing, thinking that's going to help,
Yeah.
and in the moment, you know, it's a fix, but long run,
It's going to eventually hit you.
it's
Like,
worse.
it's like my brother, when my mom died, I mean, he was upset.
Mm-hmm.
But immediately, I was messed up. My brother, I remember my dad called me 2 years after she died. He was in the middle of teaching a class and he broke down. He could not, it was like the thought of not having my mom. It's almost like it became so real for him. And I'm like, it's 2 years later.
Yeah,
But that's when it really hit him. So I
yeah, I
don't
guess you
know.
gotta shelf it. Yeah, yeah,
It's
some
weird.
people do that. I remember when my cousin passed, I was gonna pretend like he wasn't dead. Like that's just all I thought to do, and I think it's just because we just don't have the tools, you know. Like who's teaching you? Like you said, you had your mom to give you guidance, but I believe a lot in mentorship now. Like if you don't have both parents in your home, or if one or the other isn't that great of a parent, like
Yeah.
kids need guidance. You need something because we don't know what to do with these emotions. Like I didn't even know emotions meant anything,
Me either.
you know.
And we express our emotions in the weirdest ways. Like when I'm super stressed, I'm more angry. It's anger that comes up, which is weird. It's like everything frustrates me. I'm just, like a ticking time bomb. And it's like
Yeah,
I need to sometimes really hone in on that and like dial back and be like, okay, Tasha, like calm down. But I can't imagine that regulation for a kid.
yeah.
Like my son, he has a very hard time regulating his anger, which I'm like, oh, is that for me? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's from his dad. But anyway, like like we just came back from Puerto Rico and it was awful. It was awful. Like his emotional regulation. And I'm really trying to teach him like you said, like how do you really show your child, like I try to validate his feelings. Like that's the thing that I'm learning right now. It's like he's 8, I don't want him to grow up with these, I don't know. I don't want him to feel insecure about how he
Response.
feels and responds, right? But I'm trying to teach him to respond in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to break stuff because
Yeah.
like we could talk about it,
Yeah.
or even if you're not ready to talk about it, there's so many times like my older kids don't understand because like he's freaking out, I have to walk away, and I know that for him and me because he just needs some time to let it out, and then when I come back, like he's cool.
Yeah.
But if you keep having that conversation, keep poking, now it's a whole thing and it's a whole tantrum for an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd rather walk away because I need it because it's making me feel overwhelmed and he needs it.
Yeah. I think, I don't know for a fact, but I think you just have to let them go through it. Because each time they go through it, I imagine they take something from it or have like a better understanding of what it is. And also, explain to him afterwards, like what it is and provide tools to him or resources, for how to deal with it. And then over time, you would hope that it gets better,
I hope.
Because initially, like you said, breaking things, I think for a man, I don't know exactly why, but there's a release there,
Yeah.
like whatever it is, it's like you get angry, punch something. There is some release there. And like I said, I just don't think that you realize that you can let go of it with just simple communication. Like,
Right.
you can release it by communicating. You just don't know because you've never did it. And it just probably doesn't make sense to you how anger can be released through words,
Right. Right.
Because you think anger needs to be released through a
Action.
physical action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like my older son.
Yeah.
He's still learning that. I mean, my older son has those anger issues sometimes, or he either goes one extreme to the other. It's either he's completely silent, you can't get a conversation out of him, or he's like punching his punching bag because he's so angry.
Yeah.
Which I think punching the punching bag is a good way to let out aggression. But when he blows, he blows, and it makes me sad because I'm like, as a mom, I've tried to teach him these things. I've tried to teach him how to feel comfortable expressing himself, and he's getting there. He's a lot better. But funny thing is, he's very similar to my 8-year-old. Like, I feel like I'm reliving. I'm like, come on, I thought I was done with it. Where my daughter, she's so chill. My daughter's just like, all right, mom. Like, she doesn't argue with me.
Yeah.
There's no argument with my daughter.
You make me feel good hearing those stories because I thought it was just me. Like I'm guessing it's just a man-boy thing.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe have you ever considered that the source of that is like something deeper? You know, the anger, like you know, some
100%.
whatever. Okay.
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to remember our DNA transfers.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
I mean, it's science. They've studied it.
Yeah.
So
It's just
anything that's happened, anything that's happened to, you know, my mom, my dad, my dad has anger issues. You know, my kid's father has anger issues. So I feel like that has kind of trickled.
Yeah, so it's like you gotta teach them and just keep working with them. When I see my son have a temper tantrum, granted he's 2, so you kind of just expect it, but
Right.
I don't know. At a certain point, I'll expect them to know how to deal with that, but now I don't give a shit. I just let them do it because, like, I'm not gonna expect this little dude to know how to handle that when I barely know now. You know, like sometimes I still want to kick a hole through a wall. I just don't do it, but the feeling is still there.
Oh yeah,
you know?
100%.
But I just, choose not to because that's my wall now.
Right.
Yeah, when it was my mom's wall, like fuck it, kick right through it.
But now it's like, I'm not messing up this damn wall. Like, no way in hell.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, no, I agree. Parenting is, man, listen, being a single parent is rough. It's rough. I definitely have my days, but I can proudly say my son has his high school diploma. That was like the main goal. My daughter's freaking honor roll. She's trying to go into Germantown Academy. She's in volleyball, track. Like, my daughter's like the little all-star perfectionist. I don't know where she gets that from.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, she's been straight A's since I think the first day of school. And which is funny because I say she's a mini me because she's super popular as far as like she has friends in every category. You know how like high school has like we were in high school together.
Like I know what you mean.
The pockets of people. My daughter is friends with everyone all around.
Oh, good for her.
So it's like I'm like looking at her like, damn, was that me? Except for the grades part because that was not me. But she's able to maintain her social life, but also make school priority, which I've never been able to do.
Yeah.
She wants to be a doctor and like.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's just
Yeah.
But it's like my sons. It's just hard with these boys.
Yeah, you gotta have some sort of outlet, like sports for me, or some sort of activity. There has to be an outlet for whatever that is. Like, we don't know exactly what it is, we can't identify it, but we know it exists in a lot of young boys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe some women too, but for the most part, you see it in boys, and there just has to be an outlet. For me, it was sports. I got lucky. If I didn't have my mom in sports, I'd be in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was angry, aggressive, mad at the world, all that type
hated
shit.
Everybody.
Yeah. I like to smoke. Wait, what'd you say? What'd you sneak in under there?
No, I said hated everybody. No.
I thought you said dating everyone. I was like,
what? Well, you were. I mean,
yeah, roger that.
No, I'm kidding.
That's funny.
I know because we dated again for a little bit. Remember how old was I then? That was middle school, high school. I don't remember, but that's when your mom lived off of Main Street in Lansdale.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't remember really.
I don't know.
My mom lived on Second Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of off Main Street. Yeah, I guess the next street over.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's been 1,000 years.
I know.
Of just wild shit. And you didn't even know I was in a motorcycle accident and damn near lost my arm. Damn near lost my life, actually.
No.
Yeah. I was in a motorcycle. I think I was like 23. It was Labor Day. I told the story a million times, but either way, a car ran a stop sign and hit me, and I ended up getting medevaced, all that shit. I struck my head at the top. I was down for like 2 years. You see how my arm looks different?
Yeah, but if you wouldn't have pointed out, honest to God,
everyone says that. This thing is like a chicken wing. Look at this shit.
Yeah, but you see it it's your body, so you're going to see it. But for me, until you mentioned it, I was like, what? What accident? That's awful.
Yeah, so this is actually my good side. I didn't choose, but I sit on this side because I want it to be seen so that way, like, I feel comfortable with it. Yeah. Because it is, some insecurity about it.
Of course.
So, but.
Because it's a change that you notice.
Yeah. That I do not like.
Sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And I see it all the time.
But I would have never noticed.
Yeah.
That sucks. How did I not hear about that?
I don't know. I'm sure It just didn't mean anything to you.
Oh, shut up. No, I think I was pregnant when that happened,
Really?
probably.
Yeah, going through it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was not gonna have kids. I was scared to have kids for a while, cause I just didn't know how to like build a life for them that wasn't like mine. You know, cause I was so thinking like this kid is gonna end up being like me, angry, this, that, and the third. And it took me a long time to realize like, oh, this kid doesn't have to have my life. Like he doesn't. His story doesn't have to be my story.
Of course.
Yeah, it can be different. But I didn't know that.
Well,
You know?
yeah.
I just thought like, damn, it's destiny that he's gonna be and have to go through life like me.
Well, and I mean, it's scary to be a parent. Like,
Yeah.
let's be for real.
Until you get older, I'm telling you, at my
Yeah.
age, I was like fearless because I felt like I was just ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you learned so much about your own self.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't know I apologize to my older son all the time.
Really?
I'm like, I didn't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
I was 23 when I had him, but
Yeah, you're a kid.
if I just feel bad because it's like the older kids always get the brunt, right? It's like with you, I grew up with him. That's how
Yeah.
I feel. And with my kids, my other two, it's like I'm parenting them, but I grew up with you because I was
Yeah.
like learning as I went, like how to.
Yeah. See that
Do it.
part, I don't feel like I won't be growing with my kid, and I'm already too far past that.
Exactly.
But seriously though, I want to commend you for, just getting this far and looking great, being healthy, and going through it all seriously, and doing it by yourself because, it's hard. My mom did it with 3 kids. She was single, and you did it. And literally, when I say unfathomable, I mean this shit because it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
You know?
It's even hard like dating now because I'm hyper independent now, right? And it's
yeah.
like, who was I saying this to? Well, whatever. I'm
Nobody
40
can't
something.
tell you shit, huh?
No, it's not even that. Like you can, but I'm in my 40s. I've never had a guy pay my bills. I've never.
Independent in that way. I got you.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want that because to be honest, I'm tired of being hard. I'm ready to be soft. Like someone take care of me because I'm always taking care of myself and other people. So yeah, it would be nice if someone took care of me.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to it. It's like second nature to me.
Yeah.
Like I had a friend put together my daughter's vanity and I tried for weeks to finish her vanity. I couldn't get the stupid mirror on. I was frustrated. Even that was hard for me to be like, hey, can you help me? Somebody has to help me or,
Oh, okay. I would think that would be an easy call. Hey.
No.
Oh, okay.
There's so many things that need to be fixed in my house. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is, I guess, what it's like living by yourself and trying to figure stuff out. And I was dating someone for a while who was very handy. Still never asked him.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't speak for women, but let me think. I don't know if you would like being taken care of as much as you think of. The idea, because when you do that, you give away some of your independence. Like, you give away some of your power because
Yeah.
now you're relying on someone else. So there's like the leverage, the position shifts.
The power
You know?
dynamic.
Yeah. And it doesn't build you, I don't think.
No, and well, when I say someone take care of me, obviously I don't mean like, oh, I want them to be like the person in charge of all the finances and
Yeah.
all the decisions. No. I'll be the queen of my house. Like, no. But in those times of like difficulty for me or, like let's say I just paid all my bills and it's like, damn, I really wanted to get a massage or something like that. Like those kinds of things.
I got
like
you.
I want someone to care about my overall well-being.
I got you.
Not like be the end all be all to everything. Like
got
I can't give that power away.
Yeah,
Hell no.
I see that shit. I'm like, that's an interesting dynamic. I wonder if they realize how that ends. Because in the moment, it's all good when that person's into you that way, but the second that they're not, you're fucked.
Oh yeah. Well, I went through that with my kid's father. Like
okay.
I was in school, I was thriving, I was working, and he's like, I don't want you to work. And I'm like, oh. And at the time it sounded like cool, like, all right, well shoot, I don't need to work. But it was because so when we got together, I had my son and he had his son, right? His son's mom tragically passed away, which was crazy to our relationship because I think we were like a year in and she had died. So he became a single dad overnight. And I think he relied on me a lot to help him raise his kid.
Yeah.
Because he was like, now I have my son full time. So slowly over time, he kind of got me to leave my job because it's like, well, then we had our daughter. And he's like, well, who's going to be home with the kids? Like, I have to work and da-da-da. Worst decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like, if he was mad at me, he wouldn't pay something.
Yeah, that's a gamble. That's a gamble. That's a risk that people take. That's why when I hear stories of a woman like hitting someone for money at the end, I'm like, good for you. You just, you know what I mean? You should have set it up that way. That's smart for you. What are you
Yeah.
going to do? Walk away with nothing?
Exactly.
Hit them, you know?
And
Do
sometimes
it.
we're set up like that, which is messed up. Like even in marriages and stuff, the stay-at-home mom thing. And it's like, yeah, of course we want to spend time with our kids, right? So it's like, of course, the first year of life for me, I feel is important to try to stay home. But when you're giving someone that full reign over you,
Yeah.
yeah, and they take it away. Like I slept on my friend's couch for 2 months after I had my son because I left the house that was in his name. I had nothing. I had nothing. It was just me and my kids. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had to literally build myself up from sleeping on a couch to finding a place to live for me and my 3 kids. And from there, I just kept pushing.
You're a warrior.
Yeah, you're so cute.
Seriously,
Thank you.
you know, life, sometimes you want to give up. Like, no bullshit.
Oof.
I've had moments, you know, post this where I'll just like, do I really want to do this shit anymore? You know, this is a long ride,
Yeah,
you know?
most definitely.
But, you know, obviously you having kids, I was by myself in these moments. So for me, it's a little bit easier to be thinking in a real fucked up way.
Right.
But you got kids, so that's not an option for you. So I get it. But it's hard, you know?
Oh, I've wanted to do that so many times.
Yeah, it's hard.
But then I kept thinking, like, damn, if I can't live without my mom, how am I don't want to put my kids through
Yeah,
that kind of torture.
yeah. It's crazy that life is this hard. Like when
Yeah,
you're a
why?
kid and everything's all easy, you don't know this shit is coming for you.
Yeah. Well, and then some kids really, I mean, I get what you're saying, but some kids have it hard too. It's like early on in life, like it's
Yeah.
a constant struggle,
Yeah, you're right.
constant fight. And it's like, damn. Like I will say I'm fortunate for that, but I've definitely had a lot of series of events in my life. But I feel like now, and this is recent, this has not always been Tasha. I know I come off very positive, right?
Yeah.
Like you present yourself differently to the world.
I never
So.
seen you angry.
Oh, huh?
Yeah,
See?
I never saw you angry.
See?
Not
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, no. My kids
Yeah.
will tell you. They're like, oh, yeah, when mom's angry, we just... Because I do try to remain positive, right? Or not bring other people down with me. If I am feeling that way, like I said, like last weekend, I stayed in my house. I was like, I'm not pulling down anybody's vibes and stuff with my misery.
Yeah.
So I do go through that. But now, I would say in the last year, maybe it was like post-breakup with this guy I've been dating on and off for years. I was starting to gain clarity, like, okay, instead of looking at all these things as like these bad moments in my life, like let me try to shift my vibration because I want to be on a high frequency. I want to be that positive person. And I know my heart and like I know I'm a good person, right? Like
I agree.
innately I'm a good person. There's no ill intent when it comes to me. Like I do everything with intention. I treat everybody I meet like as well as I can treat them. You know, I don't like hurting people or feelings, whatever.
Yeah, you're a good person.
But I also now I'm starting to learn to have my backbone and my boundaries. Just because I'm a good person, this is why I'm in the position I'm in. This is why I've gotten hurt because I'm so forgiving. I'm so like, okay, well that makes sense. You know, I'll hear your story and be like, okay, let me give them another chance or let me, you know, shake it off. And at the end of the day, the reason I'm like I said, I've never set boundaries. So now I'm finally like, okay, no, yeah, I'm a good person, but you're not gonna just play in my face constantly.
Yeah, you can't just violate.
Hell no.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Then you got to cut people out, and that's the hardest part for me. If I care about you, I don't want to cut you off. I know how people say all the time, I could cut people off. I can't. If I genuinely care about you, it's hard for me to be like, all right, we're done.
Even if they violate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely got to work on that. You got to start cutting
I
people.
know. My most recent relationship, I got hurt really bad. I got played over and over and over again. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with, and like me feeling bad for him being sad. I'm like, wait a minute, you did this to me.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like I didn't do anything. And I wish I would have said this to him, but I remember thinking like, what if I did to you what you did to me? How would you look at me? Like, seriously. Because what you did to me is just, I couldn't imagine hurting somebody on that level.
Yeah.
You know?
Creating boundaries is, you know, it's empowering. It's powerful. Because once you do it once and then, like anything, it's like practicing. You like, okay, I can do this. And then you start to draw wider boundaries and wider and wider and wider. And then it just becomes who you are. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as you see something you don't like, no. You know,
No.
I reckon no, 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 no. Like I say no all the time. I love that shit. I don't care. I don't care what it is.
I wish.
I don't care
Oh my
what it
God,
is.
teach
Anyone
me.
asks me, I'll be say, no. I'm just not doing it.
Teach me.
No. Because the worst part is after if you don't say no, then you gotta walk around feeling like shit because you didn't say no, you know? So it's like, why am I gonna deal with that for something someone else did to me? I'm just gonna say no.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and
From the
that's what I'm
rep.
trying to learn.
Yeah.
Or I've noticed myself saying I'm sorry a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Like, if I'm saying excuse me, like in a, I don't know, in Wawa, I'm like, excuse me, sorry. Why am I, what the hell? I said excuse me. Why am I saying sorry?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes from my insecurities because, which is so funny because people, I've asked people this, like when you see me, what's your first impression, right? People are like, oh, you come off very confident, very self-assured. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I'm so insecure. Like to the point where I think I told you this. My cousin posted all these pictures of me on the group chat, whatever. The person I dated was in there. Okay. Because like he's related to my family, not my family, but my cousin's wife's family, whatever. So he's in the group chat. And immediately the anxiety over me. I was like, why? I'm like tearing myself apart. Is this what I look like? Like, oh my God, like I look so fat. Like I was ripping myself apart. And my best friend, you know, I was talking to her about it last night. She's like, Tasha, it is not that bad. Like, if you don't calm down, and she's like, people know what you look like. Even if it is a bad picture, it's not like these people haven't seen you in person. Like, why do you care? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, you know, so I let those things really get to me as other people's opinions about me.
Yeah.
Which I'm really trying to, like, not harbor on.
Yeah, you definitely gotta shake that shit.
I know.
Definitely gotta shake that shit. I mean,
I don't know why. I've never thought I was, like, this beautiful, like, I always thought I was, like, just average Tasha, you know?
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I never really been the type of person that, you know, I don't know. I guess just because I never felt like there was any real value in that shit.
It's
know?
not. It's surface
So
level
it's just
shit.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'd rather try to be a better person, which wasn't something that I cared about at a younger age. But as you get older, I think what happened to me was during my motorcycle accident, you know, I was down and out, and I noticed that a lot of people had jumped ship, like got out of my life at that time. So that's what people do when you're weaker is they get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
But I had to really reflect like, who was I that made these people want to leave the first chance they got? And once I thought about that, it just made me just want to be a better person.
You think it was you that made them want to leave?
Yeah, definitely, because I think that people were probably just around and in my life because I was who I was. You know, like some people, they think I'm big, I'm strong, you know, like
Yeah.
superficial shit.
Yeah.
And they're hanging around for those reasons. And then when I'm not that, they're ghosts. And then I think it was just an opportunity for them to leave. So I just had to think about, you know, what it was that made people peace the second that I wasn't.
That's good though. Like you're growing. Like you grew mentally. That's huge that you recognize that.
Yeah. And I think it's just because I got time to sit down. Like I was down for 2 years.
Oof.
And I don't think most
Is that
people.
rain?
I think so.
Damn.
I don't think most people get a chance to do that, just to sit with yourself and think about who you are for 2 years. And I'm sure you definitely didn't get that chance because you're a single mom raising 3 kids, but it's important.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm embarrassed to say that in my 40s, I'm finally starting to learn certain things about myself and the reasons why things have happened in my life.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. Like I'm actually, I get mad at myself for that. I'm like, why did it take me 41 years to be like, Tasha, what the hell? Or, you know, like I do the self affirmations every day. I'm a big person on words become reality and your thoughts. Like I'm trying to teach my older son that now. I'm like, when you're thinking that negative stuff about yourself, what do you think other people, like you're projecting that when you meet other people, they're going to look at you the same way.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they? If that's how you perceive yourself, that's what
Yeah.
you're putting out there. So I'm learning that stuff.
Yeah, and body language and all that shit. You got to walk into, you know, a room with your head high and look at yourself in the mirror and talk. I don't know what the fuck.
That's definitely rain.
Is it? Damn,
100% rain.
Torrential downpour.
Yeah.
It's going to pick up heavy on the mics. So I wanted to ask you in closing, and this is a very generic question. You don't have to answer it if you want, but have you ever thought about if you could say one more thing to your mother, what that would be? If you had the
Why
chance
would
to
you
speak
end
to
it
her.
where I'm going to get emotional? No.
We got to end it somehow. If you had the opportunity.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Sorry for like, because now that I'm a mom, you know, like sorry for the times I made her like worry or the heartache I've probably put her through in like, not my teen years, but you know, when I became a mom and her seeing, I think that was the hardest part for her, was seeing me be a parent alone. Just sorry for any arguments. I would just want to say sorry to her, and then I would thank her. Because I didn't realize how great she was, you know?
Okay.
I mean, I knew I had a good mom, but when she was gone, I was like, damn, I had like the best mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not crying.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to get you to cry.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, I like that. The sorry, that's for you, but the thank you. Yeah.
That would be huge, because I think most of us, especially me as a mom, sometimes we don't feel that our kids appreciate us. And I tell my kids all the time, and not to try to throw it in their face, but I was like, guys, one day when I'm gone, like, you don't realize, how much your mom loves you and how much she'd do for you. And it's like, until you don't have that, and it's like, damn. And yeah.
You're right. I appreciate that. You know what? Because I need to tell my mom thank you.
Yes. Tell her. Because I'm sure there's many nights she cried over you. There's so many nights I've cried over my kids, and I'm like, they would never know. And I'm sure my mom did the same for me.
Yeah, my mom used to cry all the time. She used to be up at the school crying and shit all the time. I'm like, yeah, chill out, man. I'm just going on a little vacation.
Right.
A little 10-day OSS. I'll be back.
Like, it's all right, Mom. But then it's like, it's like we go through some stuff. And I definitely haven't had it easy with my kids. So I think that's the most important thing. Just appreciate her. Give her flowers while she's here.
I will do that. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out. Thank you so much for joining us. Another episode here at The Awakened Avoidant. See you next time.
Yeah. Damn, that got deep, Sean.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to The Awakened Avoidant. We hope our convo has provided you with insight, inspiration, and healing energy. As you go about your week, let's continue to work together to heal ourselves and our community. Stay safe and continue to spread healing vibes wherever you go. Catch a new episode Wednesday weekly on all platforms.
Strawberry vinaigrette in my fridge. Made it from scratch, that's just what my life is. Picking my face and